You're watching The Ugly Inside. Subscribe below.
Going on from our video regarding great Saints shirts of our time, we just decided to tell a little story of probably in the great historic moments of Southampton Football Club of how Atletico Club Bilbao got their club kit. It's a story that's been told, although Sunderland will claim that they've got something to do with that as well. But Atletico Bilbao, when they formed their football club, sent a representative to England to go and buy shirts, which were rumoured to be the shirts of Arsenal, I believe. And he went to London but couldn't find any. And arriving back in Southampton to go back to Spain, he still hadn't... On the boat, of course. There were no trains in those days. Planes in those days. Because the rain falls mainly on the plains in Spain. So there were no planes in those days. So he came back to Southampton for the boat. Still not having bought the kit. So he managed to go to a sports shop in the city and buy the kit of Saints, which was red and white. Back in those days was red and white stripes, dark blue shorts and red socks. And this is what inspired Atletico Bilbao to have this as their kit. The fact that he bought it helped a lot, because otherwise it had gone to waste. But since then, they've always played in the red and white stripes, and they've honoured that by the fact that a couple of years ago, Bilbao recognised the link between Southampton Football Club and their own club by awarding Matthew Le Tissier the first foreign player in their Hall of Fame. It's something that they do every year now, but now Le Tissier was the first in honour of the kit. So nice kit, like it. I would be quite happy if this was a new Saints kit, which is due out soon. Nice traditional red and white stripes, Kappa, nice Italian sportswear, fits nicely on the slim
this
lads.
One's at least 10 years old, by the way.
Yeah,
at least 10 years old. But Bilbao, we could actually play them in the Europa Cup because they are one of the qualifiers from Spain, and they're a very traditional club in that they only ever used to play Basque players. There's something, I believe that's changed in recent years, but very traditional club. I went there in 82 in the World Cup to the stadium, to the San Mems. I'm not sure if it's the same stadium or not now, but anyway, great stadium it was at the time, and a good atmosphere there. So
let's look at some of the other foreign shirts that look like Saints but aren't. So this is, again, I like this one. This has a sort of 60s look, hasn't it, with the serrated edges on the stripes. This is Atletico Madrid. This
is probably the strongest team that wears red and white stripes in the world in terms of actual standing at the moment. Atletico Madrid.
Very good. Again, I'd be happy to see Saints playing in this. Looks like our 1996 kit. It would have been good to see Toby Alderweireld in it next season rather than
playing for
Tottenham.
Yeah.
But nice kit. What year would you say this is, Clive?
About the same as the Bilbao. I think.
So about 10 years old.
Off the same street vendor in Barcelona. But there we go.
This is a bit different. Again, this looks actually in design, although there's a bit of blue in there, this looks very much like the kit which sadly we got relegated in. The sort of design, the colour, the stripes, looks like the 2005 kit. Even the collar, sort of that tight round collar. So, reminds me a bit of it. So who is this, Encar?
This is Deportivo Guadalajara from Mexico. And it's probably the most adverts I've ever seen on one shirt. If I show you the back, incredible amount of advertising. I expect they all pay 50 pesos to be on there, but and even on the side you've got Numix and Sky on here as well, like Mexican Sky. For some reason there's an Italian badge on the side. Maybe they had.
That's a Mexican flag.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
very
it is.
similar.
Yeah.
The clue is in Chivas Guadalajara. It's in Mexico.
Yeah.
So next one. I mean, you talked there about getting shirts on your travels. So let's look at this one now. The first thing people would say from this is clearly HSV, which is a German team, HSV Hamburg. Now, most Saints fans who've travelled to Hamburg would say, did you get that, Clive, at the 1984 UEFA League Cup tie? But the answer would be
no.
No, you didn't. No, that was 1980. This was the game.
Oh, for Kevin
Keegan, where we just bought Kevin Keegan at the time European Footballer of the Year. Hamburg had just played in the European Cup and been beaten by Nottingham Forest. And we signed Kevin Keegan. It's like us signing Lionel Messi now without him being injured. Great shirt. I mean, I've got one, or did have one similar. Got lost in a little bit of a house move. Nice classic collar. Nice classic design, pretty basic, iconic 1980s design.
Yeah.
from a game where a few Saints fans went, but not as many as 4 years later. So moving on, you may have seen us around town in our trendy Ugly Inside Northern Soul t-shirts, which are fashion accessories and will be available at a online store near you soon. But this wasn't our first forage into t-shirts. This is the original 1989 Ugly Inside Southampton FC t-shirt that we probably shouldn't have done. It's got the map of England of places we went, and it's got places.
It's got little logos for people.
It's got little logos of what happened. You've got
Portsmouth with an atom bomb.
Portsmouth with an atom bomb, and someone's rear end been burned at it. It's got London
with mouthy
big
people.
Mouth Cockney, a tractor for East Anglia. It's got a pie for Yorkshire and the
Well, it's
north.
a bit south of Yorkshire, isn't it? I think that might. Well, anyway.
It's about there. Newcastle United, a big Geordie with his boots on, and a toilet for Manchester.
It could be Liverpool in the toilet, Nick.
It could be, but I think at the time it was Manchester. Now, if you turn it behind, we've put on a few of the battle honours of the Ugly Inside staff, which would be in Wembley 76, Anderlecht 77, Orient 78 when we got promoted back to the top flight, Wembley 79, the Cup final, League Cup final, Hamburg 80, which there's still some bird-chested German walking around wondering where his shirt is, Limerick 81. There was
Limerick was quite an interesting one because they weren't going to give us tickets for it, and had to go and see Laurie McMenemy to plead for the fans that had been to every single game the previous season to get tickets for the game. They didn't want to give us tickets, and in the end we did manage to get them. So thank you, Laurie.
North Shop in 82. What rate? That was where Mark Wright was it
Steve Moran.
Steve Moran were accused, wrongly of course, of raping someone, and we had to leave them behind at that trip. There was one coach run by Clive himself, which meant he didn't have to work for 10 years afterwards.
Well, we didn't know anything about the said incident, did we? And we only found out when we got back to Germany, when crossing the Baltic to Germany, into near Hamburg, Lübeck was it, somewhere like that. And the German custom guards got on, and he started laughing because he's just and they're saying, why are you laughing at us? And said, are your players having trouble with sex, yeah? Like this. And that was it. And then he showed us the German papers, and it was all over the German papers because nobody had any information, no mobile phones in those days, so we never heard anything.
No internet. Hamburg 84, Pompey 84, Moran 89, a great, an iconic game. Anyone who was of an age to be able to go to that game knows just where they were that day.
When they were singing Scummers, Here We Come. And
then they were shut up.
Yeah.
Hamburg 84, we went back to Hamburg, we loved it so much 4 years earlier, we went back. White Hart Lane 86, FA Cup semi-final versus Liverpool. Anfield 87, League Cup semi-final versus Liverpool.
Sadly defeats.
Both lost. Coventry 87, where we attempted to go to Coventry one year but didn't get there, but less said of that the better. And Millwall 89 with the thing on, because we produced this in the month before Millwall 89, and that was our last away game, a game of the season, so we're going. So that was the Ugly Inside, Southampton FC, drinking all over the world.
The original.
The original.